Hey YouTube, I wanted to share a little adventure I went on. I bought two NOE molds, and this one's a 246 105 grain for 243, and this was the main one I wanted because I didn't have anything for 243, and anyway, the guy threw in this other mold along with the deal. I got both of them for 50 bucks. And this mold is actually for a 223, but it was a 100 grain mold. And here's one that I cast with it. I set it in there, close it up. It's 1 inch long. Well, I had problems with that. No matter how I loaded it, it being so long, it wanted to yaw on me and hit the paper sideways and everything else. So instead of getting frustrated with it, I decided to make it into an adventure. And what I did was I kept sanding down the surface, and I went in increments. I think I first went down to 90 grain, then I went to 85 grain. I just kept taking it down. And anyway, then I went to, oh man, there were so many different ones I tried. I think I went to 83 grain, then 80 grain. The 80 grain, once I got down to 80 grain, then I even changed my barrel from a 1 and 9 twist to a 1 and 7. But when I got down to 80, they didn't yaw quite as much when they hit the paper. But anyway, now I'm down to 75 grain. And here's a Lee 55 grain bullet. And here's the one I'm playing with right now. It's a 75 grain. So anyway, just for the fun of it, I wanted to get a heavy cast bullet in 223 to work. But so far, I'm still into testing mode. Now I can get these 55 grainers to shoot decently. They'll shoot about a 2 to 3 inch group at 100 yards. But just because I just wanted to see what I can do with a heavier bullet. If I can get these to fly in the 2,000 feet per second range and be somewhat accurate, even if it's only 2 MOA, I'll be happy with it. But I would think that would be a much harder hitting bullet than this little 55 grainer, because these I got running about 2,100 feet per second. And I don't know, it's probably equivalent to a 22 Hornet, something like that, and still function in my AR. See, that's the big trick is, if I had a bolt action, it wouldn't be any big deal, but trying to get everything to work, still cycle, be light enough velocity for the cast bullet, and cycle the AR, that's kind of the trick. So if anybody out there has played with these heavy 75 grain cast bullets in 223 and have any suggestions for me as far as powder or anything like that, I'd appreciate it. But I know I'm getting closer to something that's going to work with this now that I'm down to 75 grain. And from the results I'm getting on targets, I may have to go to 70 grain, I don't know, but I'm sure there's somebody out there that's got a 75 grain cast 223 to fly. But I don't have a milling machine or anything, and I just used a belt sander. And basically, I took a 250 thousandths off of this, and that took off 25 grains off of the bullet. So it's kind of easy to calculate what weight bullet you're going to get when you're sanding on it. As long as you take your calipers and keep measuring it, the different corners and stuff, you can get it down there surprisingly pretty well. Like, I've weighed out these are the last batch of 75 grain bullets I made up. These are copper vein powder coat on them. But I weighed a whole batch of them. And they're all within tenths of a grain. So it is possible to do it at home, you know, do it yourself kind of guy, and get it right. The only reason I'm mentioning this or bringing this video up is I know there's a lot of guys out there that have a gas check bullet and would like to have a flat base. Well, if you're careful, I mean, I took a whole 1/4 inch off of this one. Matter of fact, I took so much off. Right here is the screws that lock in the screw for the now my mind went blank for that thingy. Anyway, what I did was I just went over to the side and I retapped it and put a set screw over there. Same thing here. Put one there for that bolt. It wasn't too hard to do. Sprue plate. That's what I was wanting to say. Anyway, it was kind of an adventure taking that much off of it, but now instead of a 225-100, it's a 225-75. I don't know if you guys can read that or not. I can barely see it on the screen. But anyway, thought I'd share that with you guys and hopefully get some information from somebody else out there that may have tried a little adventure like this. As far as I know, you can somewhere out there somebody sells a 75 grain mold for a 223, but anyway, I made one out of a 100 grain mold. So I've got a few of them I still got to take out and test. I've tried. I'm using H335 in this batch, and I've got them from 14 grains to 16.5. And I'm gonna have to chrono them, see what kind of velocities I'm getting out of them, and well, if they're even gonna do anything on paper. I even tried some with some CFE black. This has worked really well on my 300 blackout, but who knows if it'll work with this particular bullet and then a 223. But anyway, I'm playing with it. Just thought I'd share that with you guys. Thanks for watching.